people. Hello.
Will you be able to add it to your YouTube?
Hi guys, welcome here. Yeah, can you give me a thumb up if you are seeing me, if you can see me, if you can hear me? Thumb up please, so we can get going in good time. Yeah, thanks SW, I sight you there. Hi KK, I can see you, your face is shining. Yeah, welcome guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, UN, AB, welcome guys. I can see your hands waving at me in pinks. The thumb up in yellow. Welcome. It's going to be a good time together. And let's wait for about a few more people. Then we get going. Oh, AM. Yes, you are honored. I can see your teeth shining. Yeah, I can see they are shiny. Tio. Tio, you are here? Yes, I see you guys. I see you, I see you, I see you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all of you. It's nice having you here. Yeah, we have the same dream, same passion, same aspirations, same vision that will become accomplished mission. CI, that's your face. Long, 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 long time. Longest time. Longest time, guys. Yeah, I miss you guys. Where have you been? Okay. Yeah, we are increasing in number. We are increasing in number. We are increasing in number. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, 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 okay. Okay. Yeah, so let's kick at that. Let's start going and oh goodness. Oh, okay. So it's all about Australia today, and we will just give ourselves head up on what to expect, what we should do, how it should go, and the best way we can do it. So when it comes to Australian migration for internationally educated nurses, the pathway is really not difficult if you are going through New Zealand registration and you want to convert that to Australian registration at some point. But it becomes a bit challenging if you don't want to and you want to get in through from African countries or India or Pakistani or just name it, any other countries aside from some countries in the developed world like Canada, Australia, United States of America, United Kingdom, Republic of Ireland, Singapore, and a bit more. If you have your registrations in all these nations that I've mentioned, all you just need to do is go into the link that we have on our platform at some point, get in through that link, create an account, send whatsoever they request from you, then get your registration. But then, if you are practicing in any of our own world, majorly in African countries, India, and a bit of some of them, you will need to do a bit more. And it becomes interesting because there are people who have written 2 or 3 or 4 English tests, and if they pull everything together, some people are maybe will have 8 in all the modules, but in scattered forms. And people look at those results and feel these results are quite useless. But for New Zealand, to register in New Zealand is quite not so. If you can get your registration, if you can get your English test in as many as 4 tests, if you have the required band, which is writing 6.5, speaking 7, listening 7, and reading 7, then you are good to go. So if you have something like that and you've been wondering that it's a waste of money, it's a waste of resources, a waste of energy, waste of time, then this is time for you to harness this opportunity to make it work for you. So I will just encourage that you try and look at it from this angle and push in your application, then start it. Now, there are criteria you must meet if you want to go through this pathway. Let me take it from those who are registered in the developed world. Create your account, submit the document that they will request from you. Make sure you meet the registration requirements. So there are some requirements which are particular to whether you are in developed country or whether you are not in developed country. There are some things that are very particular to everyone. Those things are that you must have 2 proof of identification. Your passport must be there and it must be valid. So don't use an invalid passport, don't use an expired passport, please. Try as much as possible to make sure that your passport is in date. So use that one. Also, you will need another form and you must notarize them. Notarization means you take them to a notary public and they look at you, they look at the thing and say, oh, you are the same, and they attest it, they notarize it. And some nations can actually use their post offices. If you are in such nations like we in the United Kingdom, we were able to use post office. You just take them down. I think they will certify for you, not notarize this time around, but it is acceptable. That's because I've learned that they possibly have lawyers and they've had an agreement and a signing, maybe an oath or something that they've signed that they can get such things done. So they are not going against the legality of the pathway. I'm not sure if our post offices in Nigeria can do that. Maybe someone would allow us to make them to try that for us if they can. Otherwise, you need a notary public, and not just an ordinary lawyer, please. It is a notary public. Now, you may do those 2 things, or if you can't, you can use the web notary web, notary cam. So there's notary cam, you will see it in the moment you push in your application, you will see it. You see the link, but that's quite expensive. So I will personally not encourage you to use the notary cam, since you can get a notary public, or you can go to post office or ask someone to, all they need at post office if you are going is to have you bring in that your original documents and the photocopy. You actually need a photocopy to notarize. You don't even need it in colored copies like some people would say, oh, it must be in color and all that. So that's one of the requirements, solid requirement, that you must have before you go into doing this thing. Another thing you must do is you must ensure that your English test is complete. Like I've mentioned, that was the first thing I mentioned. You will need a 6.5 in writing and 7 in all the other modules, but you can gather these results in as many as 4 results. And they don't limit you to, you must have a so band. If you don't have so band in one, you cannot combine it or club it with another one. Like UK would say, you must have 6. You must not drop your band below 6 if you want to combine with another writing. You want to combine with another test of writing, one must not be less than 6, the other must be 6.5. If it is reading that is giving the problem, the reading one must not be less than 6.5, then the other must be 7. It's not like that with them. Even if you have band 1, if you have band 2, the moment in maybe in reading, the moment in the next reading or in one of the 4 results you are able to get a band 7 in that reading, then you will be able to combine the results. I keep saying this repeatedly because it does seem like people really don't catch the information, but that is just it. So that's what you do. Then you must be practicing. Okay, and those results must not be more than 12 months apart. So if one of your results is in April last year and you want to do, and the last one is in May this year, maybe the 3rd one or the 4th one is in May this year, that you feel they are good for clubbing, then crossing over to May has nullified it. Like if it was to be May 24th last year and you still want to combine with a result that comes like May 23rd as of today, then that result is still within the 12 months period of time. So you can still use those ones, but anything outside that, you can't use them. So please, if you have anything like that at home and you have been wondering that it doesn't meet UK need, it doesn't mean USA need, and you've been stressing yourself and booking and rebooking tests, this may be that thing that you are waiting for that could be of help, that can bring a paradigm shift to your migration interest. So that is that. Also, you must be in practice. At least in the last 2 years, you must be in practice. So you must have been practicing nursing. You must have practiced nursing for 5 years, and 2 of those years, like in the past 2 years, you are still in practice. So if you stop practicing in year 2000, if you stop practicing in 2001 April, then you may not be a good fit. So please, those things are very, very essential. The moment you meet those things, fine. And your professional body must be able to verify that your practice has been safe consistently since you've been practicing, since you've registered with them. That is where verification of results come in. Also, your employer must be able to say that you are practicing well. They should be able to give you reference. Now, in the newest form, you can just self-declare that you have been working. You will fill the form and you just tick self-declaration for employment. In that situation, if there are some people at work that you don't want them to know that you are doing this, you are doing that, and you've been thinking that getting reference is a very big deal, that getting reference is a very big problem for you, please look away, because at this point in time, you can actually self-declare for yourself that you've been practicing. And self-declaration is not like you're going to print a letter, you will sign. It's just a tick. You just click it in your on your form. You just click it because this form is online. When you click it, then they would accept it. Now you will be looking at your dashboard the moment those things are going on. All your spendings will be coming from your wallet, not from them. So when you've registered, you've created your account, you are paying $300 to the board, CGFNS New Zealand board. You are paying $300 to them, and at some point when you are doing your notarization, the money is coming from your wallet. When you are doing your verification of results, it's coming from your wallet. All those things on and on and on like that. So by the time you are done and they are happy, you will be seeing your dashboard. Initially, some things will be red. And by the time you've sent documents, they've accepted it, they've seen it, it will turn to yellow. But by the time they are done with their assessment, you will see it turning green if they've approved whatsoever you've sent. So you can monitor how you are going. Then it will start from 0% to 100%. You can see how it is going. When your identity documents has been uploaded, it will turn yellow instead from red. When they've seen it and they are happy with it, then it will turn green when they've accepted it. If it is your English test that they are waiting for and you've uploaded and they are yet to access it, it will turn yellow. By the time they've accessed it and feel, oh, you meet the required English band, then it will turn green, and your percentage of progress will be increasing till it gets to 100%. Now, something you must know is that if you are sending documents, like if your employer is sending declaration for you, or if your professional body is sending your verification of results, you should follow up with them, because the moment they receive it, they will actually send you mail that they are not going to upload it till the next 6 working weeks or something. Not even say, I think before it used to be 6 weeks, but these days they will say working. So I think it's 30 working days, which makes 6 weeks or something like that. Honestly, that's what they do. But then it's worth you following them up. In most situations, they don't upload till 6 weeks expire, but you might actually be lucky and get someone who is considerate that will be uploading for you. If that happens, then that's fine. But now, when everything is done, they will send you a message that they are happy and they've passed your report of your assessment. They've passed it to the Board of Nursing in New Zealand. At that point in time, the Board of Nursing in New Zealand will reach out to you to let you know that they've got this, and they will send you an assessor. An assessor will reach you within 20 days, I think. And when the assessor comes to you, the assessor will say they will go through your documents in the next 14 days. And if they are satisfied, they will just issue you your annual practicing certificate. If they are not satisfied, whatever they need during the process, they will request from you to supply those things. And please supply the moment they ask you. And when you are done, when they are happy for you or with what you've sent, if you are coming from countries like UK, USA, Canada to register with them, they will just issue you your annual practicing certificate straight. But if you are coming from other parts of the world, because those countries that we mentioned, they believe that their nursing practice is at par with their own nursing practice in New Zealand. But if that isn't it, if you are coming from talk of Nigeria, Ghana, other places, then they will just send you eligibility letter to come over and do competence assessment program. And this competence assessment program is expensive, I must tell you. It is really expensive, but not terribly, because personally the position I put into it is, if I'm struggling to get registration in the UK, maybe because my results is not up to what they need as per English, but it meets this level, and I'm thinking of maybe I should come and do masters, maybe after the masters 1 year now. You know, before, even if you come to do masters in the UK, they will still say you still cannot speak English. Your English is not fit for registration. But now, if you've studied in the UK for 1 year, then your English, they will waive English for you. But before, they weren't doing that. So, but even at that, even as they are even waiving it, taking a course of 1 year compared with taking a competence assessment of program of 6 to 12 weeks and getting registered, I think and you will be registered and you start practicing and making your money and you have your registration. And if you want to even convert it, then you are able to convert it. I think one is a bit easier, and I think it is still cheaper to do competence assessment program than to go through university or bridging program in the United Kingdom. Just my thinking. It might not be the same way you will view it or figure it out, but that's just my own reasoning. Honestly, that's the way I see it. And when you are done with that, the competence assessment program, then you get your annual practicing license. Now, one thing I want us to know again is that the government of New Zealand has started refunding people 10,000 New Zealand dollars back from that money for competence assessment program. Now, competence assessment program ranges from 8,000 New Zealand dollars to 16,000 New Zealand dollars, and don't let it be too big for you because I know you guys are bigger than that. So 2 New Zealand dollars is like £1, and so if 16,000 comes out to be £8,000, it means that whatever you're going to spend will not be more than 8,000 in that training. And if you're actually able to get from A to make your payments, it might be cheaper. And I think it's a bit cheaper too. I think so that it's a bit cheaper than coming to do a bridging program or coming to do masters in the United Kingdom. And besides that, you are going to get your registration within three months, whereas if you are doing masters or bridging programs, it will take you 1 year or 18 months. If you view it that way, that's fine. But if you view it the other way, I feel it's much more better for you to come and do your maybe extra program in the UK to gain UK registration. Then that's fine. Whatever makes every one of us happy and will make us progressive. We can do the calculations together. I'll pull my phone now. You can pull your phone. I'll pull my phone and see 16. That's the highest anyway. Because there are schools that are even 8,000 New Zealand dollars, and so it comes out to be 8,055 pounds sterling. Let's even say someone is buying from the black market, it will be going to like 8 million. But if you are able to use from me, it won't be up to that. Then besides, the government of New Zealand is now refunding 10,000 New Zealand dollars back to people that have taken the course. Like if you have come to their nation and you've done that and you want to stay back and work for 2 years on patient-facing basis, you are not running to go and start lecturing, then they are going to refund you 10,000 New Zealand dollars. And I think it is not really terrible. Honestly, that's my reasoning. I know the money is not really there, but I think it's still better if you have that money instead of people. I know a handful of people who have passed CBT, passed IENs, and their IENs and CBTs are about expiring, and they can afford this. If you can, I will personally prefer doing it this way than receiving 1,001 unfortunate messages that UK employers are sending. But still, that is me, not you. So I'll leave you to your decision. But if you have the financial capability, honestly, it might just be the best way to go about it. Now, another thing is there are some employers that are giving nurses job from Nigeria. If you've created your account, if you've had in the English language required for this journey, they will give you job to come and work as healthcare assistant or attendant, while they support you in getting your annual practicing license. That is, they support you through the process of your competence assessment program. And I think that's a very big one, a huge one at that. I know at least some people in the groups that we are in that have done that. I know of 1 or 2 that have got their visas through that HCA pathway and they are preparing to go. I know some who are already there. So this is not anything extremely new. And so in that situation, you might actually not be able to save the whole of the money, but at least you'll be able to work, to feed yourself and to do some things and at least make some savings. Honestly, you'll be able to make some savings towards this, but you may need some support from home to be able to quickly do it, because I won't say you should go and wait and be doing HCA consistently. Of course, don't see it as being demeaning, because we that came to the United Kingdom too, the first time you came in, before you pass your OSCE, you will be working at just that level of HCA and a bit higher, because they will be putting you through the process of getting acculturated, getting accustomed, acclimatizing with their nursing practices here. But really, they will be paying you at the HCA level. When we came, they were paying us at band 3, and I think some people were lucky to be paid at band 4 at some point. So please, if you have your money and you have the requirements, give it an effort. Of course, I know Nova Scotia is there, I know Alberta is there, but I'm having some reservations too about Alberta and Nova Scotia. I'm not being extremely skeptical. I'm just thinking of the process too, because the license they issue in those in that country expires in 6 months, and if someone is not able to get job, they don't reissue another license, except they just want to change it now. But this is your APC that you can always renew as much as you like. I've renewed my APC, I think 2 or 3 years. I've not left where I got it. You can by the time it's about expiring, they will send you mail. And I've renewed my Australian license too twice, and I've not left where I got it, and it's like that. But Canada, you don't renew your license, it expires in 6 months. If you don't make use of it, then it's off. So that is a bit of reservation I have about it. And you know, to go through the process of immigration sometimes might be taking 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and if it's not clear, then it means that license is wasted. That's a bit of the swallowing in I'm having about Canada, my pathway, that I've been trying to wrap my head around. How is it going to be for people? How is it going to be for people? But I know at some point, as we all go on, everything will be panning out well. So when you've got that, if there are lots of employers that are taking people in as HCAs, as in loads. I've made a video and I still keep seeing people, employers requesting internationally educated nurses to come and work and as HCA, and they will support them to get through the competence assessment program. But if you've been registered in those countries we mentioned before, then you don't need that cap. You just need your license, and you start searching for a job, and you go and start working straight up. And another thing that I want us to consider is that when you are done with that, you can then convert your registration to Australian registration if that's what you desire. It's just a filling of forms. You just fill those forms, you make your payments. They will not different amounts. I will have a look. I have their list. I made a video. It's only that my boy is yet. Maybe I've not given him the go ahead to upload the video. But let me have a look and see. Yeah, HCAs. So the highest paid HCA in New Zealand, if you are HCA for adults, you are not a mental health nurse, a mental health HCA, you will be earning like 61,540 per annum. That's New Zealand dollars. So we can convert that to, let's just say 61,500. That's the highest anyway. We come back 61,500 New Zealand dollars. This comes to 30,210 pounds, and that's the highest you'll be paid. I think the best paid HCA in the United Kingdom will be earning like 24,000 pounds per annum or something like that. Maybe in those high cost areas they will be earning like 26,000 pounds. Just give me a second. Yeah, so that is that. If it is something you think you can deal with, I will encourage, instead of waiting till eternity, try it. But if it is a starter, there's step 1, for 8 years, 51,770. You know, these guys, they factor your years of experience. Wherever you've practiced, they will just factor your years of experience. New Zealand, I give it to them. They are quite very fair. Even at the stage you are applying for your visa, they would first assess your documents. If they know that you will not meet that, they will not grant you. They will not cuckoo go ahead to take your money because they see it as if they are cheating you. And you know, some nations too, when your kiddies are 18 and above, you can't come with them as dependent. But New Zealand is not like that. So far that child is your dependent, they are still 21, they are 22, you can still come in with them as dependents. And those are some of the beautiful things I think I see about them. Of course, that is still not enough reason for you to choose them if they are not your choice. But if they are your choice, please make effort. And if you have the money, don't hesitate, because these processes won't be like this forever. I could remember 2017 when I was trying to push Australia from Nigeria. Their English test was still 6.5. Like their overall was 6.5, and it's still like whatsoever you have in anyone, you could see, the moment you are able to pull everything together. They were taking 4 results then, but now they pushed it to UK level. And there was a time they've been contemplating they would be adding NCLEX to it. Now, I know we are not lazy, we can always pass NCLEX, but personally, what I hate is the process of getting NCLEX, getting to the NCLEX registration, to the stage of writing the test. I just, if it's just for me to just book test and go and write, then I will be very fine. Yeah, you can migrate with your dependent. There's nothing stopping you from migrating with your dependents. Yeah, nothing stops you if you have your money. And their visa fee for this pathway, I think is 700 New Zealand dollars, which I don't think is really terrible. That would be like 350 pounds. Of course, their ticket is a bit high because they are far away from everyone. But me that I love adventure, I would not actually mind. Yeah, if I have the money, I will just carry my kaya and go, just like that. Carry my load and go, for those who do not understand what kaya is. Oh, no worries, UJ, I cite you. Thank you so much. And the network in this UK has been really bad these past few days, and honestly, we've mailed our producer, what do they call them, the people we subscribe to, our suppliers. They said they came to do some things, but still we couldn't actually see any sense anyway. So we've been coping with this for like this for more than a month, but we will survive it. So that is it. And like I was saying, if you want to move to Australia, thank you, Sister Ife. If you want to move to Australia, after that, just push in your Trans-Tasmanian registration, and within a day, before it used to be within 24 hours, you get that registration. They have a relationship. They said there was this thing that there was a battle. Australia was fighting then, and New Zealand joined them, and they fought and they won. And so they've had that relationship since then. So if you have your registration in New Zealand, you can convert it to Australia. If you have your registration in Australia, you can convert it to New Zealand. If you are a permanent resident of New Zealand, you can go and work in Australia. If you are a permanent resident in Australia, you can go and work in New Zealand. It is like that. That's the way they've been rolling. And I think it's very nice. Honestly, it's really very nice. Now, one thing again I want to say is, since last year, December 22nd, before, if you want to go, you go on work visa, you wait to get PR, then after PR, you wait to get citizenship. But their country people actually pull the cord. And you know, these Onyibo people, most of the times they listen to their people, and they drag them, their governments, till they added nurses to the green whatsoever. And so we get permanent residency straight up. So the moment you are done with your HCA pathway or whatsoever, you jump into your nursing, you get your permanent residency. And you know what PR can do for you? Those of us in the United Kingdom that are waiting for PR, we value those countries who give PR straight. Like you are in Nigeria, Canada will give you PR straight. Australia will give you PR straight, and now New Zealand added to it that you can get your PR just after your 3 months or maybe 6 weeks. NASA, It's a say something, no? It's a she something. So, especially if your children are almost going to the age that they will be paying school fees. You know, there are time children don't pay school fees in this part of the world. But when you get to a particular time, they will be paying fees, and those money are really big. So, but if you are a permanent resident, you will just be paying the same thing that a citizen will be paying. I was doing a course in this UK, sometimes 16,000 naira course, and they said that their own children will be paying, is it 8,000 or 7,000? Then they were giving those children 5,000 grants out of the 8,000. You see ease. And we carry all the money we've labored for, we borrow money, every member of the family will run into debt. The forefathers, the ancestors will run into debt because they want one of the family members to come and school in the UK. But they will put their kids, those courses will now be 8,000, and they will still give those children 5,000 grants. And even, I think some of them, they still pay them stipends when they are taking those courses. Those are the things permanent residency can fix for you. I'm not saying you should not come to the UK if it's your dream, but those of us who have gone through, maybe my sister is here, Olori, we were discussing the process of IELTS not quite long ago, and honestly, so please, it is all about every one of us. Now, when you've converted your registration, and you know the beautiful thing about converting from New Zealand to Australia registration through the Trans-Tasmania pathway is you don't really need to submit any documents. In fact, when one of my friends called Australia that they should transfer her document from APRA, there's another that body called AMAC in Australia. They deal with nursing too. I will still get to that place. So when she was requesting they transfer her document, they just told her that no, they don't have any document. They just rely solely on the information provided for them by New Zealand about your registration. You see how serious, how thick that Trans-Tasmanian relationship is. That is what is earning us this registration. And believe you me, I'm not just crusading for taking New Zealand journey to getting Australian registration. It's because I have tried registering for Australia from Nigeria, and it ended in maximum pain and optimal tears. Sister Funke knew, Olori knew, Mrs. Folorunsho knew, all of them, they were in my journey then in Nigeria when I was trying. It wasn't a very beautiful journey that I would say someone should step into. I have another lady in Decency Academy, USA Decency Academy, Chibundum. We were in it together. We all got the eligibility letter to come and do the what do they call it, the bridging program in Australia. The two of us, we were both denied visas. It was that terrible after spending so much money. So it's not something I would say any of my person from Nigeria should just jump into. And that is why this step is really, really easier. It's better if you have your English test. So when you are done with your APRA registration, which will take you 24 hours to 1 week, you may now want to go and work. If you have your money and you don't want to stay in New Zealand, it means you will not get their 10,000 from their government. But it's good because Australia actually pays better, and many of us are in Australia. Of course, this past few days, my mind is dragging me towards New Zealand, because New Zealand, they've increased their nurses' salary, and I think they're now paying $45 New Zealand dollars per hour. And my friend that is there, she's on one of our platforms, she's been peppering me because after they did that in, was it March or April, just a month after, our own employer still increased their own salary again. and she's been doing pepper for me. But then there are many things. So, but if you want to go to Australia, you can still now choose to move. And in that situation, you will need to do another assessment called AMAC assessment. All the assessments you've done is about your qualification to Australia. Your New Zealand, your APRA registration, they're about the qualifications you have. Now, AMAC will now assess your experience, your skill. That's what they call skill assessment. So Australia, if you want to go in, you do both skill and skill assessment. I mean, you do both qualification and skill assessments. You've been to the uni, then have you been practicing with it? How long have you been practicing with it? And that is why I'm encouraging every one of us, don't lose any of the years you've practiced. Even if you know you cannot get reference, you can do self-declaration and swear an affidavit of self-declaration that you work in so place. If you have your pay slips, if you have the bank statement, you have your tax record for those periods you spent in those areas, or your pension, you can actually defend that you've worked in that capacity. You can defend it and they will accept it. That is if you have one manager that their head is, you understand? Of course, thank God for the kind of seniors we have in nursing these days that are really very, very supportive of people's progress. But you know, sometimes back, it wasn't like we are having it now. But of course, you will still have some that are still not ready to go through. They are not seeing through with you. They don't want you to do anything. So, no, you have not done your skill now. You are just doing your qualification. So don't worry, you can still add it to your AMAC when you get to that stage, please. So don't worry yourself. That is where the skill is actually very, very important. You will get documents to back yourself up. The moment you are able to do those ones, they are settled, they are happy. You have the link when we get back to the class, and you have the link in these videos too. I've made another video entirely for this process again today, because I just want people to have good insight so that I will not be coming back to this every time now and then. So I made another comprehensive video. I did another video with Mr. Olubayo. If you miss out anything in the one I've made, you will gain them from what I've done with Mr. Olubayo, because it is a very, very experienced hand in this thing. So please just relax. You are in safe hands. So the next thing I will be doing next will be to tell us about salaries. If we are coming together again, I've been trying to romance my friend in New Zealand. Of course, she was happy to give me some things to intimate you with in terms of salary and that, but I'm trying to pull her in so that she can speak with her own mouth and you will see what she's enjoying, so that you will know we are not directing you into what is not easy. Now, just look at it too. If you want to do Australian permanent residency, I know someone with a family of maybe 5 or 6, and by the time they paid for their permanent residency whatsoever, they paid, I think, just £6,000 plus. If you want to do permanent residency in this UK, that is after your 5 years, and you have that same number of family, you will be paying 12,000 plus. I'm not telling you lies. And every one of us, we have been so like, we have been opening, shining our eyes that what's happening? This money is huge. Of course, God is on this throne. He will pay it when it is time, and we can do those things one step at a time. But how about when you are able to just do it straight away, and you are a resident straight up, and you have that rest of mind? Now, when you've assessed your skill, you might start looking for a job. You look for a job, you get a job, you want to go in. Now, I will counsel you, is either you go through the skilled migration if you have the opportunity, if they nominate you. ATM is on our platform. It's done so many videos on migration, on skill, on assessment, on creating expression of interest and all that. I won't go into it. And it's been inviting us to another update, question and answer. Please, let's attend. ATM has been coaching people on migration, skill migration, for, I think I knew him as far back as 2016 or 2017 on Newzealand, and he's quite good at what he's doing. So please, let's leave that to him. But as a nurse, if you want to go as a skill migrant with permanent residency, make sure you don't lose time from your work, so that you'll be able to claim good points, enough points. It is points based. They will check your points with your English results. They will check your points with your years of experience. They will check your results with your qualification, whether you have RN or Bachelor of Nursing. Now, another big difference between RN and Bachelor of Nursing is at that point, because you will only be scoring 10 as a diploma when it comes to qualification, and you will score 15 if you have a degree in nursing. That is another difference, and it can make a big difference if you are doing independent visa for permanent residency. But if you want employer to sponsor you like the way they used to sponsor us to the United Kingdom, please listen to me. Try as much as possible to bargain with your employer to give you a permanent residence visa. There is an employer nominated permanent residence visa, which they call visa 186. Some people are running away now. They call it visa 186. That's one gives you the position of a permanent resident. And there is another one that they call 482. That one you can work with it, but you are like our UK tier 2. You will still need to go and get permanent residence at some point in time. So please, in anything you are doing, except if it is completely impossible to get you permanent residence, if you are doing skilled independent skill, then fine. PR 190, 189. And a friend in Australia said she canceled we should not take 491. That at least for a nurse we always get 492. There's a visa they call 491. She said you have to stay on that visa for 3 years before you are able to change it to anything else. Whereas 482, you can work 6 months and change it to 190 or 189. You will understand those things soon as, so just don't worry. But anything you are vying for at all, after getting your AMAC, let it be permanent residency visa. At least if you are going with an employer, bargain with them to give you visa 180. There was one that gave me job last year. Australia is really very short of nurses. The pride they had when I was doing it in 2017, they don't have it so much like that now. Last year when I got that job, because there was someone I really loved that is working in that hospital, and I was bargaining with them to give me 180. They were insisting on 482, 482, 482. Just last 2 weeks, they sent message to me that then I was concerned about moving my family with permanent residency visa. They are ready now to give me permanent residency visa. So please put a big worth, big value, premium on yourself when you get to that stage of getting job. And I think at this stage, I would like to call it a Tuesday. Thank you very much for coming along, and for those who are going to listen thereafter, thank you so much. If you have questions, ask your questions before I run away. Questions? No questions? All right. In the absence of questions, I want to appreciate everyone that's on here today. All right, ask your question, AU. So, let me say this thing again. If you are already in USA CGFNS registration process, you can just request from CGFNS USA. After you've created your account and you've made your payment, you will request CGFNS USA to transfer your documents to CGFNS New Zealand. They do that a whole lot. And besides, CGFNS keep documents for people. You can pay for them to keep your documents. So instead of going forth and back to be getting this and that from schools, from this, from that, you have everything there. All you may just need to do at some point will be, maybe if you need a certificate of good standing, you know that one expires. So if you don't, all you just need is to ask them to transfer after your payment, and they have been transferring for people. Even if you start the New Zealand pathway and you want to transfer it to CGFNS USA, you can do it. Yes, I've mentioned it. You will be assessed as an enrolled person, and someone asked me, you'll be assessed as an enrolled person. You will work under a person who is a registered nurse. Visa 186 is for Australia. New Zealand hasn't put a figure or a whatsoever on their own visa like Australia. Okay, any more questions? Oh, Father Lord, some people were actually struggling to join. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yes, darling.
Dad.
Yeah, a dog. Ooh, a dog. Do we have some more questions or we can just go home and rest? Oh my goodness. Well, if you are sure you're going to pass your test, it's fine. I won't stop you. I won't stop you at all. Yes, without degree, you can do it. Nothing stops you from doing it. You can apply without degree. Use your RN. Use your RN, please. You will be assessed as an enrolled nurse, and the money is not actually bad too. The money is not bad. Have I missed any questions? Yes, print all your forms in black and white, ma. You don't need them in colors. They don't even actually need them in colors. All those countries, it's only Nigeria that want us to do in colors. No, they don't. These guys don't need it in colors. They just need to see what is there. Yeah, as HCA you can migrate. And another thing I've been seeing is people saying, I don't know whether the video I did sometimes portrayed that HCAs are being taken, but what I meant is that if you are a nurse in this pathway, they can take you in as HCA. And when they've taken you in, then you complete the process of your registration. They are not recruiting, as at this moment, they are not recruiting HCAs like UK is recruiting HCAs to come and work. They are not. Like, if you are not a nurse, they are not doing that yet. Of course they might still do it because they are short, but I'm not sure. For this time, at least I've mailed 3 employers, and they've all turned around that they are not. So that is another thing about it. Did I miss any question? Yes, I've answered that. Yes, if you don't have a degree, you will be assessed as an enrolled nurse. And even I've seen a situation where someone who has had RN alone, had RN and post basic, they assessed that person as having a degree in Australia. They told them that it was because their post basic was done in teaching hospital. So if you have a post basic, add it. You have your midwifery, you have mental health, you have pediatrics, you have community, public health, whatsoever. They are part of nursing. They are nursing programs, post basics. Please add them. You might end up being assessed as an RN. Salary of an enrolled nurse, we've mentioned that the highest I saw in New Zealand was 61,500. Oh, that was the HCA, not the enrolled nurse. That was the top most for HCA. Let me have a look again. Okay, for enrolled nurse, the top most is getting 73,609 New Zealand dollars per annum. Not bad. I don't think it's really bad, because that's 30 something, maybe like 36,000 pounds, something like that, plus. I don't think it's bad. And the lowest enrolled nurse will get 61,000 New Zealand dollars per annum. That's like 31,000 too or something in pounds. If we are using pounds to rate it, I don't think it's bad. Yeah, but of course I learned that houses are a bit expensive in New Zealand. And another thing is that some parts do have natural disasters. You know, sometimes they witness cyclones, they witness earthquakes, but they know the parts. And maybe you too, you will not go and get job in those parts. At least we will all be relating. When you want to get the job, you will tell us, and we say, oh, that place, they used to have cyclones, so please don't go there, Wabi. But if you like it, I've not even had that. It actually destroyed people, maybe destroying properties. Of course, it's still very emotionally heartbreaking to have that. So, but you shall discuss with people and we can say, oh, don't go here, don't go there, and all that. And of course, there are what do they call it? Those guys that studies the galaxies, the stars, and all those things. They are not astrologists. They're not astronomers, or what do they call them? Meteorologists. They would have studied and know what's going to happen. So if you want to quickly move, you move away. But then there are areas that don't witness those things. There are areas that don't witness those things. Yeah. And their loss patient ratio is not really bad. Before I knew it used to be like 1 to 6, I think. 1 to 6 to 1 to 8. But I know it's like 1 to 8 and more these days. Everywhere has been short of nurses. But I think since they are pulling people in, it will be improving. Thank you, mommy. It's not bad though. Because that's almost like band 6, least band 6 role pay in the United Kingdom. And you would have had, maybe, even if you haven't had very many years of experience, you would have proven beyond reasonable doubt that you are over capable to get into that band 6 role. Yeah, we just put on the link. Then you go into the link. The link is actually in one of those videos that has been going around on the platform. But we will repeat it. We send it again. Thank you so much. And I pray that the journey will be easy for anyone and every one of us, and will be positively rewarding to all of us in Jesus' name. So please go after your dreams. Don't wait at all. Don't wait at all. It's going to pan out very, very well. Thank you for staying with me today, and I'll be happy to have you with me at any point in time soonest. I'm sorry I didn't post the link. Maybe soonest I'll do another one that will post the link. That time we should be able to have our salaries to project. I have the salaries, but I'm looking for a good time that we can all look at those salaries together, that you come around with with juicy stuff to send to me after you've seen the salaries. So I have the salaries. I have for care homes. I have for their government hospitals. I have them. Thank you so much. God bless you. I love you too, Sister Tio. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye. If I miss your question here, please ask on the platform. And you can also ask, I miss you too. Bring my girl to Dorset, Joe. You can ask the questions on the platform, and you can ask in the comments on this YouTube stuff. Bye.